Alright, I'm doing a live stream. It is Saturday, November 2nd, 2019 at 6:32 p.m. Let's check to see if I'm streaming. Alright, let's check to see if it's taking audio. Let's check to see. Alright, cool. I'll leave this up for the chat if anybody comes in. Alright, it's about UFOs and whatever headlines I came across today about UFOs, and just gonna hang out for a little bit and talk about what I came across. Alright, let's take a look at some UFO stuff. Here is the National UFO Reporting Center. Let's take a look at some of the reports for this month. This is for October. The new November reports have not come out yet. So October, let's just read some of these headlines for the National UFO Reporting Center. It says, at about 11:38:05 a.m. this morning, we heard a small rumbling sound coming from the south-southwest. The rumbling got closer at first. That's a summary. Let's take a look at this article if we can. See if it shows. Okay, it says about 11:35 a.m. this morning, we heard a small rumbling sound coming from the south-southwest. The rumbling got closer. At first, we thought it was a jet below the hard deck. The rumbling shook our whole house, and we thought whatever it was going to smash into our house. We went outside and saw nothing at first because it's a cloudy day. About a minute later, the same rumbling sound came from the same direction, and we went outside and saw a low flying black chevron-shaped object that blew over our house and neighborhood at massive speed. We ran inside to grab our phones to record, but that was the last time it passed. It scared the hell out of us and our cats. It was me and my wife that saw it, but I'm sure others in our neighborhood saw it too. It shook the hell out of the houses in the area. This occurred on 10/4/2019 at 10:14 a.m. That's when it was reported. Duration of the sighting was 5 minutes. So that's pretty interesting to encounter a sighting and see a chevron hovering over your house and just rattling the crap out of your house. That's just craziness. Alright. Next says, observed an odd moving light above Sumter, South Carolina at 9:30 p.m. on October 2019. The next story says, it came out of nowhere and hovered my car, and then landed in the field next to us, then came back up and just hovered there. Let's read that one. That one's from Mexico. Let's read this one, see what it says. It says, the sighting occurred 10/3/2019 at 20:20 p.m. Location Mexico. The shape of the craft was a circle, and the duration was 5 minutes. It came out of nowhere and hovered my car, and then landed in the field next to us, and then came back up and just hovered there. It came out of nowhere and hovered my car while I was driving down the road. I had several lights that were flashing on and off, and they were very bright. We watched it land in the field and then come back up and just hover. So this, to be 100% honest, is pretty scary to me. To be driving somewhere and then having a UFO or some kind of craft, you have no idea if it's a government craft or if it's a UFO for real, like with aliens, or if it's a secret government craft from another country. You never know. Because I'm going to show you later on an article of a new craft that supposedly China created. But pretty much, that's pretty spooky to be driving down the road. Imagine just driving down the road and there's no one around, and you're either around surrounded by woods or something, and then you just get a UFO. That's just spooky, spooky to me. Alright, let's close this tab and take a look to see if there are any other stories later on in the month. Alright. Yeah, this pretty much just covers from 10/1 up to 10/4 of October 4th. It doesn't, I don't see any more reports on this one. It doesn't show me a clicking thing so I could go to the next stories later on in the month. Maybe when the next month, when November comes out, they'll have more of these reports. Let's keep reading. It says 4 cigar-shaped flying objects changing from red to silver, like moving horizontal, appearing and disappearing very slow. That's an interesting description of a craft. Says, I saw a large fireball streak across the sky from west to east, north of Lake Charles area. It streaked quickly, giving off a bright light. Let's see if there's any interesting stories. I was driving down Westland Drive at around 10:45 a.m. on my way home from work when I saw the extremely bright singular light in the sky above me. Let's read that one. That's from Knoxville, Tennessee. Let's read that one and see. It says, it occurred October 2nd, 2019. Reported 8:15 or 20:15 p.m. Posted on the 4th of 2019. Location, Knoxville, Tennessee. The shape of the craft was a circle, and duration of the sighting was 30 seconds. The report says, I was driving down Westland Drive at around 10:45 on my way home from work when I saw an extremely bright singular light in the sky above me. It did not move at all from when I saw it when I drove past it. It wasn't flying very high in the sky to be a plane or a planet. That's something that I find very true when it comes to UFO reports. You see lights, but you don't know exactly what it is. It could be a satellite, it could be a plane, a drone, it could be a hot weather balloon that you're just not focusing on right. You never know. But when it comes to UFOs, when you see one, you know. You're like, oh crap, I don't know what that is. And then from then on, you try knocking down, is it a plane, is it a balloon? But once it just starts doing weird maneuvers, then you start realizing that it, isn't something, a conventional craft. Alright, let's see. There was a stationary orange light in the eastern sky. Stayed there for at least 5 minutes. Then it started moving in a westward direction. Spotted 6 semi-translucent lit objects in formation flying at a fast rate with no sound over Tampa heading south. Alright. So if you guys ever feel like checking out this website, is the National UFO Reporting Center. And you click here at the top, says click here for the latest UFO reports, and it'll give you a list of UFO reports for each month and then the years. It's pretty interesting. Let's see. I was talking on the phone laying on my porch. At first the object appeared to be a satellite. It was traveling south. Let's read that one. This is Florida Chevron. It lasted 20 seconds. Happened October 1st. Alright, it says here it occurred October 1st at 19:02 p.m. Posted 10/4/2019. Location, Harmony, Florida. The shape of the craft or sighting was a chevron. The duration was 20 seconds. I was talking on the phone laying on my front porch. At first the object appeared to be a satellite. It was traveling due south, and I soon realized it was moving way fast to be a satellite or aircraft. When it was right above me, I noticed it was fairly large and chevron shaped. It had 8 to 10 dim red lights. It was gone before I started to record it with my phone. I've seen all types of military craft. I've seen only the B-2 that looks similar to this. The strangest part was it was pretty close to the ground, maybe 5,000 feet, and made absolutely no sound. And that's one of the things when it comes to UFOs. A majority of the reports I've come across is no sound. It's really quiet. Rarely are there reports that have a mild humming noise to it, but the large crafts, that's pretty interesting. Maybe 5,000 feet from the ground and made no sound. That's pretty cool. Alright, let's close this story and see if we can find any others on the New Fork list here. A grayish rectangle flying above with 2 rounds of light on each end. Let's see. Maryland, New Carlton, Maryland rectangle lasted 30 seconds. So let's take a look at that one. Alright. This occurred on October 1st, 2019. Happened at 21:33 p.m. Posted on the 4th. Location New Carlton, Maryland. Shape rectangle and duration 30 seconds. A grayish rectangle flying object with 2 round lights on each end. I was leaving my home with my wife. She noticed 2 green lights. I look up and notice a rectangular object with 2 steady green lights in each end, flying slowly, and then lost sight of it where it went. It was quite. And then that's the end of the sentence. So that's pretty interesting. It's something flying slowly and then lost sight of where it went with 2 green lights at each end. See, that's one thing. You never know if it's a military craft that's being secretly tested or if it's an actual UFO. Alright. And then shooting star slows down to almost complete stops, continues to zigzag across the night sky from north to south. A shooting star that slows down and stops isn't really a shooting star. Shooting stars continue, they fizzle out in the atmosphere, or they crash somewhere in a field or the ocean. And that comes with meteors as well. But a shooting star that slows down to almost a complete stop, that's something iffy. If you see that in the sky, make a mental note and make a report to the National UFO Network or MUFON. Alright, let's continue on. Let me close this. That's it for the National UFO Network for right now. Let's take a look quickly here at some UFO videos I found that happened recently on YouTube. November 2nd, 2019. Hey, look at that. That happened today. I think I caught a UFO. By user Fallen Matter. Alright, so show some love to him on YouTube, Fallen Matter, if you feel like checking out this video. Alright, I put the volume down on the videos because it kind of gets loud and I don't want it to be too disruptive. Let's just take a look at this video. Alright. So it's a light just blinking on and off. I'm going to pause it to see when it blinks on again to see if I can zoom into it better. The light just blinking on and off. Let's take a look at it here. Alright. Let's zoom in. Alright, so there's really no distinct shape to it. It's just a circular light with the camera catches. That's something that I find interesting as well, is these modern phones that people have now. You'd think that if you recorded a UFO, you'd get like great video quality because of the new cameras on these phones. But try recording some lights at night and you see very, very quickly how low quality some UFO videos come out. Alright, next, UFO over Paris. On the 26th of October 2019 by Tom72. So check out his channel if you feel like checking this video, Tom72. Alright, let's take a look at this video. So you see 4 lights in the distance, almost like the Phoenix lights, sort of. spread out in the distance. The two middle lights are pretty much traveling towards each other right now. And as they're getting closer to each other, there's like a small gap in between them. Alright. Alright, that's that for this video. Just wanted to show that there's many different lights you can encounter in large cities like Paris. Because there's rural areas where you see lights, but you don't get to see it at such a scale like New York or Paris or London. Those are more populated areas, and you get a higher chance of UFO sightings on camera like that. But lower rural areas, you get videos like this. It says UFO sighting in Quebec, Canada. Aliens and UFO is the channel on YouTube if you feel like checking them out. This happened October 27th, 2019. Alright, let's play this, see what we see. Alright. It's bobbing all over. Another thing that when you encounter videos, it's really hard to keep a camera steady. See if we can pause it. That looks like a lot, either a machine that's got really shiny reflectors, the sun reflecting off of it, or that it's emitting itself lights. Let's see if we can get a better zoom in into the UFO so we can see a more steady shot of it. Alright. See, to me that looks like either a machine or some sort of weird craft. Do you see here? It almost looks like a Michelin man floating in the air. Let me see if I could zoom in so you guys can get a better... Alright, look at that. That either looks like a ship on the side, a giant balloon, or some kind of craft that's reflecting really bright pink, or the sun reflecting off a balloon in the sky or something. But it's pretty interesting. Alright, let's keep looking down at the video. Now it's switching, look at that. It changed shape. Now has lights at the end, dimmer in the middle, kind of like a white and black body to whatever it is, if they're a craft, a balloon, some sort of reflection towards the end of it. Alright. Just, it looks different now. Doesn't have those longer tendrils sort of sticking out of it. Let's see if they get a better handle on the visual. Let's pause it there. Yeah, still the lights towards the end, a dark middle of the body, and white surrounding that middle part. It could also be somebody driving a weird craft and just in the middle, and then like the ship around them. That's something that could also be. Because you never know with this type of military crafts if they have military secret crafts that they're testing, and because there's not just the United States, there's China, there's Russia, there's different countries that could be testing ships right now, and we'd have no knowledge of them because they pretty much keep everything under wraps. Alright, that's it for that video. Let's take a look at the next video. This one is Otto Kozik. Seems like a Russian name or some sort of foreign name, maybe Swedish. It says UFO question mark. A strange object floated above Gothenburg in Sweden. So it's Sweden. So a strange object in Sweden. Let's take a look at this. Okay, I see it. So there's like a weird box or UFO in the middle of the sky here, floating in between these cables. So they go into the bus stop. The person who's recording is in the bus, and then this UFO or unidentified craft or whatever it is just sitting there. Let's see if they have a good time to zoom into it so we can take a better look at it. Seems to be getting elongated. It was boxier before. Now it's longer. Alright, so it doesn't seem to be... it just went behind the building. It doesn't seem to be that there's a better time to zoom in, so let's go back a little bit. See if we can pause there and see if we can zoom in. Alright, it pretty much looks like an elongated box or an elongated craft floating in the air. There's something else that a concept that isn't just the physical that we see right now. It could be something dimensional. Is it something coming from another dimension that's crossing over and we're just seeing it? You know, that's something that a lot of people don't think about, you know. Realities, dimensionalities, timelines, you know, a lot of sci-fi stuff when it comes to these subjects. Alright, let's take a look at some articles. Canadian Mint released UFO-themed glow-in-the-dark coin. Over 50 years ago, on the night of October 4th, strange lights appeared over the small Canadian fishing village. Witnesses watched as the lights flashed and then dived toward the dark waters of coast of Nova Scotia. Now, what some believe to have been a UFO sighting has been commemorated by the Royal Canadian Mint. The Mint has released a collector's coin that tells the story of a unique and mysterious event. The scene in the glow-in-the-dark coin depicts a specific moment described by various eyewitnesses. After seeing 4 strange flashing lights on the offshore night sky, they spotted an object 60 feet in length flying low, which dropped down at a 45-degree angle and then made a bright splash as it hit the water. According to Defense Department memo about the incident, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, which had received numerous calls reporting a plane crash in the harbor, along with local fishermen, tried to reach the object before it sank. Canada's Defense Department later conducted an underwater search of the area where the object was seen entering the water, but failed to locate any evidence of an object. And here are the coins commemorating these harbor incidents, depicting the Shag Harbor incident. Let me zoom in here so you guys can see it better. Look at the detail in that. See the ship crashing into the water. It says Canada, and then people in a boat pointing at it. There's the dark sky one where it's just the lights going in, and then the light one where you can see the ship. That's pretty cool that Canada is getting these coins. It says Laurie Wickens, who was 17 at the time of the incident, was the first Shag Harbor resident to call the Royal Canadian Mounted Police that October night to report a possible plane crash. He now helps organize the annual Shag Harbor UFO Festival, which includes a tour of the crash site and eyewitness accounts, and believes the mint coin will boost attendance. The coin comes with a flashing light when the used brings out the lights of the UFO, the stars in the night sky, and a haze over the water reported by locals. So it's pretty much, it comes with a flashlight. When used, it brings out the light of the UFO. So it just changes, I guess, in light. The coin. That's pretty cool. A coin that changes in light. Mint spokesman Alex Reeves said the coin is definitely one of the top performers and has sold out on their website. It has a limited run of 4,000 and retailed for $129.95. Mr. Reeves says the Mint tries to cover a broad range of subjects with its products, from Canadian history and wildlife to local lore. You try and cover a full spectrum of the Canadian experience, and these oddball stories are part of the parcel of the fabric, he said. It's not the first glow-in-the-dark coin released by the Mint, so it is a glow-in-the-dark coin. It's not the first glow-in-the-dark coin released by the Mint. In 2017, they used the same technology to release what they billed as the first such coin in history in circulation, $2 Canadian coin that depicts boaters looking up at the northern lights. That's pretty cool. I just wanted to share that they have these coins that glow in the dark and have UFOs. That's pretty neat. If I collected Canadian coins, I would definitely collect those. Alright, let's go to the next story. Close this advertisement. Alright, it says these are the areas of the UK with the most UFO sightings. October is a month with all spooky and paranormal, and with Halloween approaching, that's an older article, many might be keen to get a glimpse of the supernatural in the nod of the celebration. UK isn't short of supposedly eerie locations, with numerous sightings of extraterrestrial life reported across the country over the years. New report from Torthful.com has revealed the areas where you are most likely to experience an alien encounter based on data from the National UFO Reporting Center. Data was analyzed from 1998 to 2019 to determine the most haunted areas of the UK based on the number of UFO encounters. Okay, so the first is London with 74 sightings. Number of UFO sightings 74, and then you see a picture of London there. And then we have Manchester as number 2 place for most UFO sightings. Number of UFO sightings 28, and here's a picture of Manchester. Then Birmingham, number of UFO sightings 27. So 27 and 28, not too much difference from Manchester to Birmingham, just one UFO sighting. And for Bristol, number of UFO sightings 12. So that's a lower number, but it is still a UFO sighting. So Bristol, Birmingham, Manchester, and London. That's pretty cool if you ever visit the UK, or if you do live in the UK and you want to share your stories, leave comments on the videos. I also wanted to do that. I leave in my description my email, spacerivernews@yahoo.com. If anybody has UFO sightings, UFO pictures, any paranormal stories you want to share, go ahead and share them, and I can make a video on it and share it to the world. Alright. Next, states with the most UFO sightings, Vermont leads the way. That reminds me, let me check the chat. Alright. Pretty much video going on. Okay. Alright. States with the most UFO sightings, Vermont leads the way. So Vermont seems to be, in the United States, the highest count of UFO sightings in the United States. Okay, UFOs, or unidentified flying objects, has stirred up our imaginations for generations. Sightings of the alleged interstellar visitors to Earth have been chronicled through history. However, the mania for UFOs had shifted into hyperdrive in 1947, when flying saucer enthusiasts believed the remains of an otherworldly spacecraft and even a corpse of an alien were discovered in Roswell, New Mexico. The U.S. government said in 1994 that the remains were debris from a neoprene balloon used in top-secret government surveillance project. Many people who report a UFO sighting have reported the object without the use of viewing apparatus such as a telescope. Weather, among other variables, can trick an observer into thinking he or she is seeing something unusual. There are thousands of UFO sightings reported every year, including several made by airplane and pilots, and astronauts. Many sightings are compiled by the National UFO Reporting Center, which disseminates what it calls credible UFO reports. Let's take a look here at the list of UFOs by state. 50, Mississippi is the state with least UFO sightings, 636. Georgia is 48. Texas is 47. So it's ranked by which state has the most sightings. New York, total sightings about 5,141, the sixth most population. Maryland is 47. Virginia is 43. North Dakota is 42. New Jersey is 41. Tennessee is 40. Massachusetts is 39. North Carolina is 38. Minnesota is 37. Illinois is 36. Arkansas is 35. South Dakota is 34. Delaware is 33. Nebraska is 32. Wisconsin is 31. Ohio is 30. Kentucky is 29. Oklahoma is 28. Iowa is 27. South Carolina is 26. Florida is 25. I would believe that Florida will be much higher, because Florida, California, New York, those areas I think have a lot of sightings. Utah is 24. Kansas is 23. Hawaii is 22. California is 21. Pennsylvania is 20. Connecticut is 19. Michigan is 18. Indiana is 17. West Virginia is 16. Missouri is 15. Rhode Island is 14. Nevada is 13. Colorado is 12. Idaho is 11. Wyoming is 10. Montana is 9. Alaska is 8. New Mexico is 7. Arizona is 6. New Hampshire is 5. Washington is 4. Maine is 3. Oregon is in second place. And Vermont is in first place, according to this article. To me, the highest states with a lot of UFO sightings would be up the East Coast, Florida, California. Yeah, pretty much. Not a lot of the middle states that I've heard from, but the higher populated areas have more sightings, but Florida definitely. Also, Massachusetts, a lot of UFOs there as well, in the New England area. Alright, let's take a look at the next article. I didn't scroll back up for a minute. Okay, Army partners with former Blink 182 founders UFO research company to study alien technology. Much like the universe, the military's affiliation with alien-related subject matter appears to be ever expanding. In 2017, the Pentagon confirmed the existence of a program that existed from 2007 to 2012. The Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program that was dedicated solely to investigating reports of UFO sightings. So, just seeing that right there, they confirmed the existence of a program that existed from 2007 to 2012, tells me that they still have programs out there that are studying this phenomena, that this phenomena is relevant because it could be a threat to national security. They could study the craft. They could have reverse engineered many craft and not even talk to us about it, the public, because it would, breach protocol of national security, and you never want advanced craft falling into the hands of other countries that could take advantage of that technology. Alright, the Navy then verified the authenticity of a declassified 2015 video released by former Blink 182 frontman, the Tom DeLonge to the Stars Academy, featuring a bizarre encounter between Navy pilots and a high-speed, low-altitude, unidentified flying object. This April, the Navy confirmed it was drafting a fleet-wide message to establish guidelines for pilots and other military personnel to report UFO sightings. The combination of a surge in what Navy called a series of intrusions by advanced aircraft on Navy carrier strike groups. Now, the Army has joined the extraterrestrial fray in a big way, inking a contract with the Launch TSA to collaborate in a study of exotic materials that both parties hope will lead to the development of advanced technologies. Like I was saying, any advanced technologies that they have, they're probably reverse engineered and are probably using right now, and we have no idea about them. I've heard so many stories because I listen to a lot of UFO reports. I listen to stories that come out, and it pretty much the pieces come together. There's a lot of advanced technology that we as a public have no idea about. Some such advanced technologies they keep secret and they use to run a lot of the military projects that have like electricity. They have that covered. Supposedly they have generators that are free. They don't use any fuel. They basically run on magnetics, and they pretty much just have free electricity. Imagine this technology being released right now to the public and not having to pay electric bills at all for the whole United States. That would be a game changer. And if that went worldwide, this world would be such an advanced place. This world would be such an advanced place if electricity or technology that gives energy and we don't have to pay for it because it runs on magnetics, it would be amazing. But what I hear is that if people come close to inventing machines that run on magnetics and things like that. I mean, I'm talking about the public here, not the military. If a person of the public decides to start playing with magnetics and they somehow build a generator that gives free electricity, it gets shut down, the person either goes missing, the person gets killed, and it's suppressed. I've heard of cars that run on water before, and the person and the vehicle gets detained and the person goes missing or gets killed. So pretty much there's a suppression on any type of technology that will advance society. And I don't know if it's the dark hats or just a program that they're basically trying to keep society down in the dumps and just working and not paying attention to the future and the possibility of how great our world could be with these new advanced technologies if they were released. Or if more technologies were not suppressed, more people could share this technology and advance and help this world so much. So it's really interesting when I see these articles come up about advanced technologies that Tom DeLonge now has, exotic materials, and the government's like jumping right on it, and they want to create technologies. It says here, in the study of exotic materials, metals from both parties hope will lead to the development of advanced technologies. As part of the agreement, the Army's Ground Vehicle Systems Center and Ground Vehicle Survivability and Protection Component will lend research resources, including laboratories, to TSA, which in turn will leverage what the company asserts are alien metals capable of enhancing the effectiveness of Army vehicles. So they're using it pretty much for military vehicles, possibly, who knows, if they can make better Kevlar, better technology with what they pull out of what Tom DeLonge has with these exotic materials. What else does the government have that could advance and help our world? That's what I want to see. I want to see these free technologies and advanced technologies free for the public so that we don't have to struggle as much as we do every day in society. Alright. It says, to the stars claim to have acquired, designed, or produced these materials, which can offer an array of futuristic modifications like after camouflage, beamed energy propulsion, inertial mass reduction, and quantum communication. So that is a mouthful right there. That's a whopping wallop of technology that could be acquired, designed, or produced with these materials. Live active camouflage, beamed energy propulsion, meaning that would advance the way ships travel. All these. That's something else that I hear in stories is that we have ships and bases all over our solar system, that we have bases on Mars, that we have bases on the moon, that we have bases on other planets, and we're traveling, and our top secret government is just pretty much, there's a secret space program traveling and doing other stuff that they keep classified, and none of us have any idea that it's happening. We have no, well, at least the major public has no idea that this kind of stuff is happening. And what a world it would be if we actually got it to be declassified and shared it with the world. Also, inertial mass reduction and quantum communication. Who knows what kind of ships they have now with quantum communication, flying in beamed energy propulsion with infinite electricity in machines that we have no idea about. It says here, details on how or where the launch company acquired these materials were not provided. TTSA has acquired materials from various sources and does not comment on the specifics of each sample. Carried the launch, TTSA Chief Content Officer and Tom's sister told Vice Motherboard. The Army will make $750,000 commitment to TTSA research as part of the 5-year collaboration. Our partnership with TTSA serves as an exciting, non-traditional source for novel materials and transformational technologies to enhance our military ground system capabilities. Dr. Joseph Cannon, Deputy Product Manager of Science and Technology in the Vehicle Protection Systems Division of the GVSC, said that TTSA press release announcing the contract. We look forward to their partnership and the potential technical innovations forthcoming. The Army's contractual agreement comes in the wake of insistence by a number of former defense officials that the Pentagon take a more aggressive approach to analyzing data surrounding UFO encounters. Former military intelligence officer Luis Elizondo, who works for DeLonge's TTSA after reportedly spearheading the ATIP, told Politico in April that the military's determination to keep such encounters quiet could be detrimental. If you are in a busy airport and see something, you are supposed to say something, he said. With our military members, it's kind of the opposite. If you see something, don't say something. What happens in 5 years if it turns out these are extremely advanced Russian aircraft? Recent measures taken by the Army and Navy would suggest, at least on the surface, an acknowledgement of the concerns of those like Elizondo, who told Motherboard in September that he was heartened by the Navy's new position to address this issue in a serious manner and without the distraction of the social stigma that this phenomena seems to attract. And while the Pentagon's lead endeavors come sans admission of the existence of alien life, new developments continue to signal a return to DoD acknowledgement that recently documented encounters the last warrant further investigation. To the STARS, officials are happy to accommodate the effort. This cooperative research agreement brings additional critical important exercise that is necessary to advance the state of the art in both our near and long-term technology areas of study. Study Justice TTSA and COO Aerospace Division Director said on the release. While the Army has specific military performance interests in the research, much of the work is expected to have dual-use application in support of TTSA's path to commercialization and public benefit mission. The launch team at TTSA is spearheaded by a number of noteworthy officials who have spent significant time in the DoD, Department of Defense. Dr. Hal Putford, a NASA quantum physics and DoD advisor, Jim Semivan, a former senior intelligence and member of the CIA, Chris Mellon, a former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense of Intelligence in both the Clinton and Bush administrations, who was instrumental in creating specific operations command, all occupy leadership positions within TTSA. So the launch to the Stars Academy team was recently subject to a 6-part documentary series on the History Channel called Unidentified: Inside America's UFO Investigation. Alright, so I think that this is a really interesting article with such advanced technologies coming off this possible discovery that Tom DeLonge and his basically group. So it's pretty interesting. They have a new discovery or possible alien materials, and the Army hopped right on it and is gonna basically see what they can come with, or what can come out of this new discovery. And that's how it works. It pretty much is they discover UFO stuff and they reverse engineer it, and then they apply it to the world that they have in secret cover, basically. The military, you can't speak about certain things because it's classified. So it's pretty much, they could possibly have really, really advanced technology that we have no idea of, or that many small people could have some idea of it, but the majority of the people have no idea that there could be such advanced technologies out there. And the government's using it, and we're pretty much just left out of the loop. Alright, let's see what else articles we have. Oh yeah, the one I was talking about earlier. China's helicopter prototype looks like a UFO. Look at this thing. Let's see if I can zoom into this. Look at this. This is their Super Great White Shark stealth helicopter. That's what they're calling it. That looks pretty much like a UFO to me. That looks, at least the shape of it. China's helicopter prototype looks like a UFO. China has been unveiling a lot of new weaponry lately, but one of their latest reveals looks really well out of this world. Called the Super Great White Shark by Chinese media, the aircraft conjures up images of 1950s sci-fi movies more than the 21st century technology, but China says the armed helicopter was designed for the future digital information battlefield. State tabloid The Global Time published an image gallery of the aircraft, calling it a fusion of modern, proven helicopter designs such as the American AH-64 Apache and the CH-53 Sea Stallion, as well as the Russian Ka-52 and Mi-26 helicopters. It also has the blended wing design employed by stealth aircraft, including the U.S. B-2 bomber. And here is, pretty much in Chinese, the design of the craft. See, there's an engine on the right, more machinery in the middle, the people traveling in the center of the craft. So that's pretty interesting. It says the Super Great White Sharks is 7.6 meters or 25 feet long, almost 3 meters or 10 feet high, and has room on board for 2 crew. Schematic drawings show an outer shell covers rotors and engines, which would presumably give the helicopter stealth capability because any sharp angles would be covered, making it harder for radar to detect. The prototype was displayed last week at the China Helicopter Exposition in Tianjin. It was a static display only. The aircraft is land-bound, at least for now. If it does make it to the test flight stage, it wouldn't be the first UFO-inspired helicopter to get off the ground. And then here we have a picture of the 1950s U.S. AVROCAR or Avrocar, which was unstable and could reach top speeds of only 35 miles an hour, and that was a U.S. vehicle in the 50s. It says here, this is the 1950s, a Canadian company, Avro Aircraft, developed a similar-looking piece of equipment, which was eventually built and tested in the U.S. military. So it was from a Canadian company, but tested by the U.S. military. Flight tests showed a VZ-9 Avro car became unstable when it got more than a meter or 3 feet off the ground. It can only reach a speed of 56 kilometers per hour or 35 miles per hour, slower than most maximum speed limits on U.S. roads. Of course, technology has come a long way since 1961, when the U.S. military scrapped the Avro car project, and China has put itself in the forefront of developing new military technologies in recent years, so it is worth keeping an eye on the great white shark. Alright. So let's take a look here at this ship. Look at this. This is what was in the 1950s being tested in the United States. What else have they developed that's come so far from the 1950s? It's only traveled 35 miles per hour. But what else do they have that we have no idea about? And then this is the Chinese super great white shark stealth helicopter. If you see that in the sky at any time, day or night, you think, whoa, that's a UFO. But you think wrong. It is a military tested from China vehicle. Alright, let's go to the next story. Top stories: human origins debate and African DNA scandal. This is just a small snippet of a story. It says a new genetic study suggests all modern human race trace to ancestry of a single spot in southern Africa 200,000 years ago. But experts say the study, which analyzes the DNA of living people, is not nearly comprehensive enough to pinpoint where our species arose. So it's pretty much a few lines saying that human origins could come from Africa. That is pretty interesting to me, because I have thought before, I've heard that the Bible was based in Africa, and that a lot of the stories that match, the cedars of Lebanon, all this stuff is found in Africa. There's actually a lot of cedar trees in Africa, all this stuff. So it's pretty interesting to me that the human origins could come from Africa. Just something I felt like sharing there. And next, Samsung's space selfie satellite crash lands in Michigan yard, reports say. A Samsung pseudo space satellite crash landed Saturday on a family farm in Merrill, Michigan, according to local reports. Nancy Walk said she heard a loud crash around 8:45 a.m. before her and her husband Dan were set to let the horses out, according to the Facebook post by Gatiot County Herald. When she went outside, Helk said she found a four-legged object with solar panels attached to the top of it. The outlet reported the object was still humming and landed on Walk's property with a safety parachute. Space satellite crashes near county line. Near Welk heard the crash around 8:45 this morning, just before she and her husband Don were going to let the horses out. What they found on their E. Van Buren property near Gatiot Saginaw County line is out of this world. So let's take a quick look here at what they found. You see here, it looks like a satellite or a machine that gathers data. It could be something, see the red string hanging from it? It could be attached to a balloon or some kind of machine that just tests the atmosphere. It says Samsung on it, so it could just have been released to either collect data from phone satellites, or just bring ping back phone information. That's pretty crazy to see that crash land on somebody's yard. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I just wanted to share some UFO stories, some UFO information. Hope you guys have a great evening. My Halloween was great. It was pretty much stayed inside. No trick-or-treaters. Usually we get trick-or-treaters, but this year it's nothing. So hope you guys have a good beginning of your November. Have a good month. And see you guys next time we go to UFO Talk. See you guys next time. God bless you guys.